Today I'm going to be changing out my heater core on my Mk7 GTI. The first thing you want to do is check with the car like I've done here. To start off, we're going to be disconnecting the coolant hoses and drain the coolant from the main line. To drain the coolant, we're going to be going on the passenger side here and disconnecting that hose right there with this hose. And then we're going to come over here and disconnect the coolant line to the actual heater core, which are these two back here. To gain access to the main coolant lines to disconnect them, you're going to want to remove this skid plate here, which is held on by some T25 screws. They're located here and back here. Oh, I'm missing one. That's fun. Make sure you're going the right way too. They shouldn't be that tight, but I don't know. Oh, there's one back there. It's all in the back. See, I'm missing some, but I think you should have most of them. I think there's 6 or so. I only have 4. Then it's just held in by these clips here and here. You just push them up. Push it, pull this down and pull back. And it should come out pretty simple. Should not to lose your screws. Now we're going to be under the car. As you can see here, this is the main line we need to worry about. It's held on by a hose clamp, and it's a little tricky to get to, but I'm see if I can capture it best I can on camera. Let me see. Squeeze it, and you want to walk it down if you can. Without breaking it would be preferable. All right, hold on. If you're having some trouble with that collar like I did, I found it easier to come up here with these locking ones and get a good grip, and then try to twist it after grabbing a grip. From here, you should be able to go back under and pull it off. Probably easier pulling it off underneath than it is pushing it, but we'll see about that. Now you're just gonna want to shimmy it. Make sure you have your catch can underneath. All right, as close as you can get it, and just kind of shimmy it from as close as you can to the top, little by little. Once there, there you go. I just let that sit for a couple minutes. It's gonna pour liquid everywhere. Empty this way. Yeah. So just let that sit for a couple minutes. All right, now we're gonna see if we can get those 2 coolant lines out that run into the heater core. It looks like, if my camera will focus, those are pins that you can pull out with a screwdriver, and it might be a little difficult to get to, but we're gonna see what we can do. So I'm just gonna take a screwdriver and see if I can, push it back here. I don't know if you can see this. Push it and pull this pin out, and it'll come out like this, and it should. Now we should be able to just maybe. One second. Let me see. Yep, it just pulls right out. Just gonna see here. No twisting or anything, it just pulls right out. A little bit of coolant will fall out, as you can see there, but it looks like, yep, that bottom one is the same thing, except the pin is on the left side, right there. So it's just the same thing. So the firewall's a little bent. Let's see if I can get past that. We're just trying to minimize the amount of coolant going into the interior, because unfortunately the heater core is inside. I'll show you that in a second when we go in there. This one's a little tricky because there's not much room for your hands. But let's see. Maybe the pin's not fully out. No, it's out. Okay. So it's just a little tight. Again, you just kind of wiggle these things. You don't want to break them, so just wiggle them. Oh man, this one's on there a little tighter. And believe me, these things are a pain in the balls to find, so do not break them. This one is on there tight. I finally got that bottom one out. There's a lot of just pulling and prodding back and forth. Now the coolant is drained, we can reconnect the main pipes together and put the car back down because we're pretty much done with everything underneath. Now we're going to go into the interior of the car and we're going to take apart this lower panel. It's held in by some clips and one T20 screw. So now we've gained access to the heater core, which is right here. These are the two, it's behind this black plastic. These are the two coolant hoses we disconnected. What we're going to do is going to take out these, which are also T20s, and we're going to look from there. So I'm pretty sure it's just those two here, and then, yep, here it's coming. Just kind of have to shimmy it. Yep, here it comes. And as you can see, my heater core is all sorts of chewed up. I don't know what happened to this thing, but that's why it needs to be replaced. So I'm really not sure how this is held on. Let me see. So I got this little black thing out of the way. What you're gonna have to do is take off this thing here. It's sitting on this lip, and you just have to pull one side off and then pull another. Rotate it and then pull this side off. I'm gonna go grab a towel because I'm assuming there's still gonna be some liquid coming out when I remove this one. This one looks like it's just gonna be pulled out. This one, I'm assuming, is gonna maybe take this thing off, which I'm not sure the measurement is on that. Let me double check. All right, so that was a size 3 Allen wrench. That's all it is, nothing fancy. So I'm assuming these are going to come out, and I'm gonna do that right now. Yep, as you can see, make sure you have a towel because this is making a mess. Okay, now I'm gonna go for the top one. It's a little tricky. This one's already dripping. Can't get a good grip on it anywhere. Sorry, knocked you over. All right, now we're gonna go for the top one. It's a little trickier to get to. push. That was easier actually. Push, if you grab it and hold it and just push the heater core back, it seems to go pretty well. So now, as you can tell, the heater core should, if you move some pipes out of the way, should just come right out. Or maybe not. Might have to take this one off. Let me see if I can do that real quick. So this is held on by two T20s, one here, and there's one right there. All right, upon further inspection, there's a lot more than 2 screws holding this thing together. So you're going to want to take off this plastic panel here. This one, it just sits here. You can just rip it, like if you get a plastic screwdriver or something in between there, it just comes off. There's gonna be one here. These are all T20s, by the way. There's one here. And then in your cubby, there's one up and then there's one down. So you're gonna have to remove the cubby, all right? There's also one here. There's one here. You might have one here. I did not, but you might. And there's one here. From then, because the main goal is to take off this air box that keeps your Tootsies warm. So after that, you're still not gonna be able to take this dash out because of the center consoles in the way. But as long as you can get a little bit of play in it, you can get it out. I was able to get a little bit of play, and there's a screw right there that you need to take out. I was able to get it with a little 90-degree angle. Where is it? One of these. But you can try. It's not that tight, but whatever you can do to not take apart the dash or the console, do it. Because it is a pain to take apart the center console. But then once you get that out, it should, this little Tootsie heater should just come out like so. Okay. Put that to the side. And now, after all that, you should be able to pull out your busted heater core. Now all you have to do is replace it with your new core, which is not busted, and re-up your coolant after you install this. If your heater core came with new hardware, I'd definitely recommend installing the new hardware. Mine came with new O-rings and little collars, so I'm going to be replacing those. See the O-rings here on the coolant line. There's one here and the one up there where you can't see that well. Just use like a screwdriver, or if you have one of those pick things, I would use the pick. I'd recommend that. All right, once you've got the heat core in there, you're going to want to put in this collar first, the bottom collar, and then you're going to readjust this black piece that was once covering it before you install the top collar. Now there is this rubber bit here. It's just, you just have to be tricky with it and just kind of fold it up behind this bar here, and just reattach it here. And here, those 2 screws, I think they were T15s, they'll be on the screen. I'm not entirely sure, but you just reinstall those. I'm gonna do that right now. Now everything just gets clipped back together with these clips here, and there's some on the bottom that you're gonna want to grab, and do not forget your foot warmer, because that would suck. So clips in, it'll hold its own weight. Now you just put those T20s back in and your cubby. Also, do not forget this piece. This piece goes under here and clips in. These clips back here. Clips in these two. So no, they don't. Yes, it did. And then those again are T20s gonna get put into their spot when it's incorrectly. There we go. Push back in. One last T20. To install your cubby, you just kind of shove it back in there. Get the bottom in first. Alrighty, I finally got the cubby in. It's gonna take some persuasion. Alright, now that your dash is back to being in one piece, we're going to fill this car back up with coolant. Fortunately, I forgot to record this part, but this is the last step you're gonna do. You're gonna need one of these vacuum purges. And basically, you take, looks like this. So you're gonna take this end here and stick it inside your coolant reservoir and make sure a tight section is formed. There, then you're gonna take one of these and create a vacuum with an air compressor. You're gonna run air through that, through the air compressor and through this. It will create a vacuum, which then you switch the thing off, connect this hose, and dump the other side of the hose into a bucket of coolant. From then, you turn the pressure valve back on, and which sucks the coolant out and fills your system. And that's it. You've now successfully changed your coolant and your heater core.